In order to formally welcome the chief guest, I request Sister Laura in order to take over session.
And I have to welcome one another for this valedictory program. Before the curtain is drawn on workshop on research and publication days, here we are to thank the Almighty for His benevolence and thank God for all that has unfolded in these 6 days. I take this opportunity to thank one another, and especially that it has happened. On behalf of the Department of Education event program, coordinator, faculty and student group, we are here to welcome you to this valedictory program. I extend a warm welcome to Professor B.L. Remark, Registrar Evaluation, the chief guest of today's program. I request Dr. Chidanand A.L., coordinator of the Department of Education, to welcome you.
In his absence here, I welcome to Dr. Gerald Santosh D'Souza, the Dean and Director of Physical Education and President of today's valedictory program. Warm welcome to you, dear Dr. Sashikala A.L. Ma'am, the advisory of the Department of Education, and extend to you warm welcome. I request Mr. Nagaraj to extend the floral welcome to Ma'am. We have with us Dr. Gerard sir. Warm welcome to you, sir. I request Chaitra to offer to you, sir. A warm welcome to Dr. Chidanand A.L., the coordinator of the Department of Education, with warm welcome for this valedictory program. I request Chaitra to extend a floral welcome. And to you, our dear research scholars and esteemed faculty members and student fold, hearty welcome to you all for this valedictory program. Hearty welcome to one another.
Our chief guest, as you all know, is a lively, energetic academician and a very good administrator, and students' favorite, Dr. P.L. Dharma sir, the Registrar Evaluation. We are very happy and delightful in order to have such a wonderful person amongst us. Sir, over to you in order to address the students.
140 participants. What a wonderful number. In the next 3 years, we will have 140 doctoral degree holders here. Major research outcome, university will have absolutely great H-index. University will have lots of laurels from different worlds of, different parts of the world, and n number of research activities. I'm really looking for a wonderful years ahead. My dear young friends, young researchers, looking at you, I can now draw, design, picturize the future of the university, because your research is going to be defining. Your research is going to be a defining moment in the history to come, or in the days to come, wherein we hope the 6 days of your work, 6 days of your workshop, 6 days of your energy that is invested here is going to definitely help you in terms of not only to emerge as an academician, researcher, but also as a wonderful human being. It's because it is about ethics. It's about not just research ethics, it's about ethics, which I call both quote and unquote ethics. So I see not only the great researchers I also see a great 140 wonderful individuals, lovable, absolutely great human beings, great scholars. Maybe some of you will become also vice chancellors in the universities, and also a good academic ambassadors elsewhere. But with this ethics that you have studied, I believe most of you will become absolutely a great individuals, so that you hurt none. You create problems to none. And you don't get into your personal, often when you deal with institutions, you don't get into a trap of personal when you get into larger number of values, which needs to be called as ethics today. I'm supposed to leave very soon. I just wanted to speak at least about 10 minutes, which I don't think that I will be able to do, my dear friends. But before that, I have a wonderful person on the stage. Madam Sashikala, ನಿಮಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಾದರೆ ಭಾಳ ಚಂದ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರುವ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಶಶಿಕಲಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಹಳ ಆತ್ಮೀಯರು, ಹಿರಿಯರು, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಿಷಯ. ಮೇಡಮ್, ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿ ನನಗೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. My good friend, young Professor Dean, always I call him hero, Dr. Santosh. What a wonderful man he is, both on the field and off the field. Thank you so much for the opportunity that you extended to me. Chida is a very young friend, emerging scholar on the campus. Chida, and my dear young friends. There are about 8 questions that I wanted to ask myself, which requires at least 30 minutes to complete and then also seek an answer from you. You don't have to answer me all these questions now. Maybe throughout your life, I believe most of you live for about more than 80, 100 years or whatever. Throughout your life, just try to answer at least one in a year, so that you will understand how great that you people are compared to some of those individuals who have not even seen the doors of the schools. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್. Most of us think that we are here in the university to do something extraordinary in the name of research, which we have been doing for the last centuries. Remember, this research has been part of the human effort. This research has been part of the human civilization since ages. Our grandfather, mother, or everybody for that matter, through all the civilizations, research has been integral part of the universal, fact. The human beings. In spite of all the research, nothing ethics have emerged here. I don't know what ethics that you have learned about. What ethics that have been talked about here? Don't steal, there is plagiarism. Okay? Don't copy, that there is a plagiarism. Don't copy that you only cheat yourself. You cheat the God who is no more, watching us. He has stopped watching us, Gods and goddesses have stopped us watching, stopped us taking care of us, because they have seen enough. They have seen enough what we have done. I am sure, gods and goddesses have already deserted India for the reasons that they know they must be living in heaven. They are no more with us now. So through the ages, most of you know that we have been talking about the research, and we have done research, and that's the reason why we have almost reached to moon. We are almost reaching the sun now, and we have never allowed any place untouched till today, and the research has done a wonderful thing. And with most of us belief that we have, that our research is going to bring in enormous change in the society. If I do my research in the next 4 years and I get a doctorate from Bangalore University, that my research is going to be qualitatively good, therefore it is going to create n number of opportunities. All the women will be empowered, all the men will be empowered, all those problems with science, everything will be solved, all nuclear energy, nuclear bombs, everything will be done. So research is something that you are going to produce something little later, maybe with that dream you are here. Ask a small question. All those research that we have conducted for all these days, what has it done? Have we produced humanity. You have a research in commerce wherein it treats you how to treat market, how you can be a consumer, not simply anybody else. It teaches you how can you be a consumer. Science, how can you manipulate the resources that is existing today. Humanities, it will ultimately teach you to love humanity. That's true. At least after 1947 in India, how many of us have started loving humanity? How many of us have started loving our own neighborhood? Your research has never produced that result where the question of ethics, which I have put in both inverted commas, have remained in inverted commas for all these days. Therefore, we need to ask a fundamental question. Why are we so much worried about research? And then you are brought in here, whether you wish or you don't. You are compelled to come here, whether you like it or not. And then you are taught ethics. At least if I remember, all our religious texts will tell us, the moment you come out of the womb of a mother, your blood and your flesh is mixed with ethics. You don't need to be taught ethics when you are grown up. Why are you thinking today that as a man and a woman, you are supposed to be taught ethics, at least as part of the research ethics? Research is your action. Research is your mind. Research is your dharma. Research is your own karma, whatever. And research is integral to you. That means you are there. And is it necessary that you need to be taught ethics today? Steal, don't steal, see this, don't see this. Copy this, don't copy this. Just cut and paste, don't cut and paste. My dear young friends, let me tell you, look at the contradiction that you're talking about. If you are a student, most lucky students on the earth, which most of them do not have this opportunity, then you need to always understand that you are ethically strong. Therefore, you are capable of answering a question that why you are here to conduct a research. Is it to completely destroy the knowledge that is already existing? Therefore, my research is going to be a path-breaking research. Is it because I want to change your mentality so that you love humanity? You don't discriminate people on the basis of their birth? Is it because you wanted to bring in new democracy in India so that people love each other? So that people understand what is equality, they don't discriminate people? I do not understand why. Therefore, at least as a matter of fact, keeping aside what you have done for the last 6 days, try to see that you have certain fundamental duties to be followed. Most of you always ask for rights. I'm a research scholar. Give me blah, blah, blah. It's my right. It's not my right. Do this, don't do this. I'm a research scholar. Give me a place. Give me a laptop. Give me that. Give me this. You've been always asking for the rights of yours because you think that you are a research scholar. You have certain set of defined, rights. As a student, young student, really trying to trouble your mind, you need to ask not about your rights now, you need to talk about your own duties. I have been, just reading some of those wonderful lectures that were delivered here to change your mind, to inculcate certain values in the name of ethics. And I think they are one of the wonderful speakers that they've had. And at least 2 of them I know personally. They would have definitely changed your mind. They would have definitely, remained here in your heart. But for me, most of the time, when I see a researcher in Mangalore University, they come here with so much of enthusiasm, absolutely bubbling with enthusiasm, but then when they go back after submission, they look so pale. I don't know why. My young friend professor must tell me why that student lose their interest not only in the research but also in terms of their life. Sir, next time I don't want to come to Mangalore University. ಖಂಡಿತ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗೆ. ಸಾಕು ನಮಗೆ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ನೀರಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬೇಡಿ. ನೀರಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ತೃಪ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಏನು ಆಗಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ತಲೆ ಅಂತೂ ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಜೋಬಂತೂ ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ನಾವಿನ್ನು ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗೆ ಬರೋದು. Why do you lose this interest? Why are you losing these interests now? Is it because the teachers are bad? Is it because the library is very bad? Is it because the professors who have taken up this kind of work is so bad? And there must be some reason why somebody feels that he goes out of the campus not with the same enthusiasm when he came here and registered or enrolled for the PhD. Maybe one important answer we need to explain something is wrong here. That is one of the reasons why methodology classes are often held, the research ethic classes are often held, and then all kinds of orientation courses being taken up here so that you are oriented, thereby you can do certain things which you are supposed to be doing. Day before yesterday, University Grants Commission has issued an order. They said every next year you have n number of PhDs that we have produced. Most of you have seen this. What is the quality of the research? The quality of research has come down so heavily, I'm using this wrong word, so heavily, that there is nothing called practicability of the research that we have conducted. We have conducted research on anthropology, but none of the social groups, none of the communities have been benefited out of this. We have conducted large number of research on science, but nothing has happened as far as the farmers are concerned. We have nothing to do with the arachidid that is grown in Mangalore, nothing to do with coconut that is being grown in Mangalore, nothing to do with the fish that we have very close by, and nothing has happened to us. Where is the research gone? Sir, we are doing research in science, but what has happened in coastal? Everybody is one or the other day, you get a skin disease, you are not able to answer it. You are getting n number of diseases, new diseases which you are not able to answer. Where is the research has gone? What has happened ultimately? In political science, which is my subject, every time you begin to see that there is n number of corruption that is taking place of different variety. If your research has really been doing properly, you have adopted a good methodology, if you are really doing what exactly that you are supposed to do, followed what is ethics, relatively corruption should have come down. Unfortunately, the corruption is increasing on the map. It is always on the increasing side. ಬಹುಶಃ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಬೇಕು. In another 2 years, let me tell you, this is a good news for you. In another 2 years, Santoshji is going to stay here. He is a young fellow. In another 2 years, all the senior professors are going to retire from the campus. It's all Professor Govind Raju from the Department of Sociology, Santoshji from the Department of Sports, Dr. Sabita from the Department of Sociology. I don't think that anybody will remain here. We will just go next year. Nobody remains on the campus. Who has to take care of it? Somebody like you, youngsters, who is an embodiment of ethics, who is an embodiment of ethics, wherein mix the teaching and the research, administration, and takes it so systematically and give a major contribution to the society. And it will be you. One among you people also will become a Vice Chancellor, I have already told you. My dear young friends, think of your duties first. Forget about your rights. After the submission, award, convocation ceremony, whatever, you can think of the rights later. My concern is this: you are already a family member. Your parents are there, brothers, sisters, neighbors. You are a wonderful family. That's the reason why you are here. And if that is true, and that is true with every Indian, I'm not talking of European nations as well, because they do not understand the experience of family. Whereas you, and you are a part of the family, I don't think that there is any reason why I should teach you what is ethics. At this age, my dear friends, you know why you are not supposed to steal somebody's mind. You are asked to do research, in a different way. You are asked to read. That's the reason why you call academically literature survey. What did you do in the literature survey? What did you do? And you simply started rephrasing, copying, and then you thought finally there is somebody called Turn It On, some agency. They will look into the all kinds of, whatever theft that you have done. Therefore, you have absolutely a green signal saying that plagiarism is zero, therefore I can submit my thesis. What has happened here? What is that you think in the next 10 years to go and happen in a society, or at least in the area that you have researched with? Please think it over. At least be a new tradition. Be a change yourself so that you will be a different lot than what we have been producing for all this day. Number one. Number two, I have seen, I'm a student of social science, therefore political science. Over the years, you want to do research, but ethically, most of you are suffering from one or the other problems. What are the problems? Today, I have signed a paper, I have signed a paper where 8 research scholars have requested with the money, professor, saying, sir, please convert our language medium from English to Kannada. English nalli namge thesis bariyakagodilla, ನೀವು ನಮಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ನಡದೊಳಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. I have no problem because you give money to university. I have to only simply sign a paper saying, chalo, you have been permitted. Why is this in Kannada? Sir, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೆ plagiarism ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Be careful. I have introduced Kannada plagiarism this time onwards. You will not be spared here afterwards. Be careful. If you don't submit these 6 months reports on time, I will not accept it. As long as I am there, I will never compromise any policies here afterwards. You have to be more and more careful about your duties, and if you are really doing that, you continue, otherwise you please drop it. One day after the last submission, last day which is given to you, you are not going to be entertained here afterwards. Sir, extension kodi. Corona bandide, ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ನೋವು ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಕಾಲು ನೋವು ಬಂದಿದೆ, ತಲೆ ನೋವು ಬಂದಿದೆ, ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಗೈಡ್ ಜೊತೆ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. I'll tell you, my dear friends, this time a new research policy has been adopted in Mangalore University, which is also approved by the Honorable Syndicate, where the syndicate member is also sitting here, which very clearly says no entertainment, no flexibility as far as the time is given. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವುದಾದ್ರೆ ಕಾಲಮಿತಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ the time frame is given to you, wherein you will have to do your job within the time allotted to you. No entertainment of anything. Sir, ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನು ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. We want to send you as early as possible so that the new lot come here. What I was trying to say is, my dear friends, please be a different group. 140, my dear, I'll tell you, Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore has only 32 research scholars today. 32. Indian Institute of Science. 32. They have international competitions. More than 2,000 applicants. All the 2,000 would have got this place in Indian Institute of Science. There is interdisciplinary research also there. Only 32 students have been selected to do research. 140. You are enough to completely transform the Indian scenario in the next 4 years. If somebody, my friend from the Afghanistan is doing politics, is doing research on politics, he is capable of transforming the politics of not only Afghanistan, but also India. Somebody doing on commerce is capable of transforming the market. Somebody is doing on the life science, capable of transforming everything. 4 years of your time, my dear friends. What a wonderful, valuable time is this. Don't think of anything else. People might have done many things. Library has n number of library books, old books, which is not going to be useful. Even if my research is available in the library, please treat it as a scrap and then throw it. because it no longer is going to be useful to you. No old documents, no old stories. And I'm sure most of you have your laptops where, you think that, every information is available here. It's just one touch and everything is available. Why to go to field? What you see today through computer, what you see through your laptop, whatever, is not what exists outside. You can't understand the social pulse sitting in the room. You need to just understand, at least a basic understanding. ಮನುಷ್ಯರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ನಮಗೆ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಸಾರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ವಿತ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ಮೈ ಯಂಗ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಮನುಷ್ಯರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಮನುಷ್ಯತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತೋರುವ ದಯೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿಸ್ತೀರಿ, ಮನುಷ್ಯರನ್ನು ಪ್ರೀತಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮನುಷ್ಯರ ಹತ್ರನೇ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಜೊತೆ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಇಂಥ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗೂ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಟ್ರಬಲ್ ಯು, ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. You need to really start a new civilization in Bangalore University. Please be careful that every number, everybody in 140 will be a new tradition, will be a new beginning, so that whatever has happened so far, we have just thrown it. ಏನು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ. ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ವರದಿಯನ್ನು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. ದಿವಂಗತ ಸೋಶಾಲಜಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಇಬ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನಾದರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಸರ್ಚನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಪೀರ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರದೊಂದು ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಭಾಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂಗತಿ. ಅದು ಸೋಶಾಲಜಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಪಾಪ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವರು ಸ್ವರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪೀರ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರು. ಅವ್ರದ್ದೊಂದು ಥೀಸಿಸನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಲೇಟರ್. ಆದರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್, say from the beginning, inception of the Bangalore University, none of our research has been recognized by anybody. Not even for patent. ಏನೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮದು. ಇದರೆಲ್ಲ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. You please try that your thesis will be recognized at the international level. Publications, yes. ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು? ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ನೀವು. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗದಿದ್ರೆ, ಸರ್ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಬಾಯಿ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯತ್ವದ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ. ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್? ಏನೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತನ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು? ದಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್. Please be careful, my dear friends. You are too absolutely young. You have another so many years to go. Please contribute something so that you are remembered in the process, in the research area in a big way, unlike what has happened. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಯಾರೂ ನೆನಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಕೈ ತುಂಬ ಸಂಬಳ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ, ಉಂಡ್ವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ವಿ. None of them remember us today. Can you therefore do something special, particularly when country is suffering? N number of suffering. ಅನ್ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅನ್ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಡಯಾಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗಳನ್ನು. ಏನು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ? ತಲೆನೋವು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಏನೇನೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಡಯಾಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಸರಿಯಾದ ಔಷಧಿ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬಾಡಿಯನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕುರಿ, ಪಕ್ಷಿ, ಕಪ್ಪೆನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಡೂ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ದೇವರನ್ನು ನಂಬ್ತಾ ಇರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ದಿಢೀರ್ ಅಂತ. ದೇವರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಭಯಂಕರ ಬೇಡಿಕೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಯಾವ ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಬಿಡಿ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಎಟ್ ದಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೇ ಯು ಎಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಡಿವೋಟಿ. ಏನಾದರೂ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ನಮಗೆ? ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ ತಂಗಿ, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಗಿದೆಯೇನಮ್ಮ? ಏನು ಆಗಿದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಏನೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ದಿವಸ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ರಕ್ತ, ದಿವಸ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಕೊಲೆ, ದಿವಸ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಇದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಥೀಸಿಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ, ಸಮಾಜದ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅಧ್ಯಾಪನಾಗಿ ರೂಪಿಸದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನನ್ನಾಗಿ ರೂಪಿಸದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಾವು ಬದುಕಿದ್ದೇನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ? ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ 2 ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾದರೆ ಈ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಕ್ತದ ಜೊತೆಗೇ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಗ ಈ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೆಳೆದಿರುವ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಟು ಯು ವೆನ್ ಯು have grown as an adult. It is part of your body. It is there in your blood. Now only you need to do is to just practice it. ಕದಿಬೇಡಿ. ಕಳ್ಳತನ ಅಂದರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕದಿಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಥೀಸಿಸನ್ನು ನೋಡಬೇಡಿ. ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನೋಡಬೇಡಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟದನ್ನ ಅಂತ. ಆಗಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ಪುಣ್ಯಾತ್ಮ, ಬಿದ್ದೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬತ್ತಮ್ಮ, ತಲೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಡೆದೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡಬೇಡಿ, ಕೆಟ್ಟದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಬೇಡಿ. ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಏನು ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು ನೀವೇ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಸೋ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಅಸ್ ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸಿ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ನೋಡಿ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಯಾವ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರನ್ನು ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಂತ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಿಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ವೈಲ್, relate your own history, life history, to the topic that you take up. Think differently, discuss with your friends, discuss with your teacher. If teacher doesn't understand what you're trying to say, consult somebody, because you've always got a consultancy. Try to produce something differently. Kone maatu, my dear friends, however great you are, however great research that you produce, however wonderful paper that you produce, which has a great H index, whatever, if you don't have a language, I'm sure you are nobody today. People have started saying money is very important. Ma'am, ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. I have realized slowly, at least these days, if you don't play with words, if you don't have a language, you are nobody. ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ವಾಕ್ಯ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು? ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೇ? ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಸೆಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರವರ್ಸೀಸ್. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಂದೂಗಳು ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರುಗಳ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವು. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿತು. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರನ್ನು ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತು. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತು. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವರ್ಡ್ ಯು ಯೂಸ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೇ. Therefore, be careful when you write, when you publish. Be absolutely careful. Be it in any language, whether it is in Malayalam, whether it is in Kannada, whether it is Tulu, whatever language it is. But be careful when you construct a language, a sentence. Bhashe, language, is absolutely priority as far as the research is concerned. If you have a language, ethics is no problem. You can also ಕದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು, ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೂ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಎನ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು. ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞರು ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವ ನಾಲೆಜನ್ನೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಯಾವ ಹೊಸ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಹೇಳಿ? ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ಥ್ರೂಔಟ್ ದಿ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ತಿಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ? ಕೋಳಿ ತಿಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಬೀಫ್ ತಿಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಗಾಳಿ ತಿಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇದಿಷ್ಟೇ. ಇದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಇಡೀ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನಾಟಮಿಯನ್ನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ದಲಿತರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಬಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಯೂಸ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸರ್ಸ್, ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ಬರೆಯೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಲೆ, ಅದು ಮಾತನಾಡೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಲೆ, ಅದು ಬರೆಯೋದು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಭಾಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಲೆ. ಅದು ನೀವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರೀಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಗೈಡ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮನಸ್ತಾಪ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಗೈಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಶಿಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಸೇ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಹಿಮ್. He or she misunderstands, and that will end up in a different problem later. ಅದೇನು ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ. ದೇವ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಸುಮಾರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದ್ವು ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಕೇಳೋದು? ರಿಸರ್ಚಿಂದ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಟು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಲೇಟರ್. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಲ್ಲ. I have answered this question. You are not an ordinary individual. I have an answer, but there are many things that I wanted to talk about. I will stop it here, my dear friends. All you are stay for the next 4 years or 3 years, whatever. Don't think of 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. Be very happy. Pleasant time ನಿಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿರಲಿ. ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾದರೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಷ್ಟ ಸುಖಗಳನ್ನು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಅದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಗಂಡು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರುಗಳು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಂಬಡಿ, ಯು ಕಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ನೀವು ಬುದ್ಧನ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬುದ್ಧನ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮೌನವಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಬುದ್ಧನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಾಗಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ದೇವರು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಕೆಲವರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಯಂಗ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕವಾಗಿ ಗುರುತಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡವ್ರು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಶಶಿಕಲಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಭಾಳ ಹಿರಿಯರು, ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವತ್ತು. ಅವರ ಯಜಮಾನರು ಕೂಡ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸತ್ಯ ತುಂಬ ಆತ್ಮೀಯರು. ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದದ್ದು ನಂಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ ತಂದಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ನೈಸ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲೀವಿಂಗ್.
Thank you so much, sir. As sir said, communication is a skill, and we are very grateful that we have a great communicator here. He was, in a nutshell, talked about, within very limited time, he talked about the importance of research ethics. Not only research ethics, he was even talking about, as a human, how we can have the social ethics also. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. We, the Department of Education, are very happy and we are proud to say that the 6-day workshop on research and publication ethics, actually we got a great response from the participants. Through the registration, we got 180 registration. In 180 registration, actually 160 students or 160 participants were attending the workshop. It's a great thing. As 160 participants in a workshop, it is a really great thing. And we are very happy, we are proud that 6 day it was from the participant side. I could know that we could make, or as the resource person can make some significant impact in your research life. So we had, in order to tell the report, the 6 days workshop, we had 10 resource persons of great caliber made the sessions very wonderful, effective, and even practical. We know that we research scholars will not be so much interested in the theoretical knowledge because, as the research persons also said, because theory you will get everywhere. But most of the resource persons were practically showing you how to search for the journals, not the predatory journals, but the authentic journals they were talking about. And the main, the resource persons were talking about mainly on philosophy and ethics and its relation to research, and regarding the publication ethics, publication misconduct, the open access publications, and how to remove the plagiarism, and even so many softwares in order to check the plagiarism also the resource person have taken. In order to talk about the major takeaway from this resource, from this 6-day workshop on research and publication ethics, it is nothing but majorly it was the plagiarism and different plagiarism softwares like original, Turnitin, Authenticate, and related to pre-publication websites, softwares to find the predatory journals and even the publication suggester, and mainly what are the penalties if as researchers we are misconducting or doing any misconduct in our research. What are the penalties? Through examples they were showing what are the penalties, even 5 years of imprisonment, even the taking away of our jobs, all such things practically they were talking about. And hopefully the Department of Education is hopefully thinking that it was a great session for you also. Now I just invite our advisor, Department of Education, to express her sentiments regarding the help extended by different resource persons for the growth of the department as well as to the 6-day workshop. Ma'am, over to you.
I request all present here to pardon me if I deviate a little from the present focus. However, for sure, I'll come back. Our Department of Education started 5 years ago. However, we, the members of the Department of Education, did not get a very apt occasion to document our sentiments of gratitude to those who worked day and night to open the Department of Education at Mangalore University. I thought this is the best occasion to place on record our feelings of gratitude. Hope you will excuse me. The Department of Education on this campus came into existence in 2016 after going through tough and challenging tasks by the officials of Mangalore University. This happened after 36 years of the commencement of Mangalore University. There was a great demand to open a Department of Education in Mangalore University to meet the needs of B.Ed graduates for further studies and make provision to take up research in the field of education. Fortunately, the university got permission to start both M.Ed and B.Ed courses. B.Ed course was offered through distance mode. 4 batches of M.Ed students and nearly 500 B.Ed students have graduated so far. It's our proud privilege to mention Professor Bhairappa, the Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University at that time, who initiated this task. He also fulfilled all the requirements needed to start the department. We, the members of the Department of Education, are highly indebted to him. The process of starting a Department of Education is not an easy task, and Dr. Kishore Kumar, the present Registrar of Mangalore University, executed this. We gratefully acknowledge his immense contribution in the form of guidance, support, help, advice, and many more ways. We are extremely grateful to the present Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, Professor Edepadithaya, sir. He is genuinely interested in the growth of Department of Education. He listens and positively responds to each requirement of the department. This gesture of Professor Sir shows his interest in not only the department but also his deep concern for the cause of education in general. I have no words to explain the help and guidance rendered by Dr. Dharma Sir, Professor Department of Physics on the campus. He is a unique person with a combination of rare attributes. He is very calm, highly virtuous, polite, but at the same time industrious. Thanks a million to him. We are also grateful to Dr. Sangappa, Professor of Physics, Mangalore University. He supported us, guided us, and helped us to grow. Thank you, sir. We always remember the services of different officials who are continuously working with us at each stage in the path of progress of the department. In the absence of dear Professor Dharma, we thank him immensely for being with us, especially at times of difficulty. Thanks, sir, for making a number of hazardous tasks easy for us. Dear Gerald, sir, our heartfelt thanks to you for mentoring us, guiding us, cooperating us in different ways at different times. There is a quite lot to learn from you, sir. I personally appreciate in abundance and congratulate the coordinator of the department, Dr. Chidananda, and other faculty members, Mr. Nagaraj, Mrs. Lamy, and Dr. Sister Laura Pinto, as well as Mr. Venkatachala, who have toiled throughout with a focused vision of the progress of the department. Let me come to the present occasion of the valedictory function of the 6-day workshop on research and publication ethics. Dear participants, I felt extremely happy when I heard the feedback of resource persons about your participation in the seminar. They told me that you are very active, you were very dynamic, and you were attentive throughout the seminar. all of you are working for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Hope you know why you are given the degree Doctor of Philosophy instead of a degree in your subject. You have been working in history, physics, chemistry. Why you are not called the Doctor of Physics, Doctor of Chemistry, Doctor of History, Doctor of Geography? Why do you think you are given the degree Doctor of Philosophy? Any one of you? Have you thought of? ನನಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ? ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. Because there was a time in the history of the disciplines, emergence of the discipline, all the subjects were called under the discipline, all the subjects were studied under the discipline philosophy. There was only one discipline, just imagine, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆಗ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಐನ್ಸ್ಟೀನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ, ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್. You are all expected to be philosophers. Those who go through this process are expected to be philosophers. Philosophers andrenu? What do you mean by philosophers? Philosopher is one who is interested in the discipline of philosophy. Agar philosophy andrenu? What is philosophy? Philosophy means love of wisdom. ವಿವೇಕವನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಪ್ರೀತಿಸ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರನ್ನ ಫಿಲಾಸಫರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So you need to be wise throughout the process of your research, starting from the identification of the problem till the publication of the results of your research. In the beginning, you select the problem, be wise. You identify the scope of your problem, be wise. You are going to prepare your tools, be wise. You are going to collect data, be wise. You are going to analyze the data, be wise. At every step, be wise, be wise. So that wisdom is required throughout it is required. One person came to me a few years ago and she said, Madam, I want to write a paper. Okay, please help me in analysis. I have the data, you please help me in analysis. So I said, okay, what are you thinking of? What are your objectives? And then she said, I'm thinking of using this particular statistic. I said, how much, what is your sample? So she said, this is my sample. Her sample was not enough to apply that statistic. So I said, okay, today I can't tell you anything. Tomorrow I'll do some reference and tell you what statistic could be used for your data, for your sample. So next day she came again and she said, Madam, ಏನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್, ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್? ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವಳದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಬೇರೆ. ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್, ಐ ಡಬಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. 24 ಇತ್ತು, ನಾನು 48 ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹರ್ ಇನ್ನಸೆನ್ಸ್. ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ನಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಗ್ನರೆನ್ಸ್, ಐ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ನೋ. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ವೈಸ್. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್? I cannot duplicate my sample. That's not correct. So be wise. Before you start your research, in the beginning of the research only, you decide what statistic you need to use. So you need to inculcate all the attributes of wisdom. Can you think of the attributes of wisdom? Who will be wise? ಯಾರು ತುಂಬ ವಿವೇಕಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರನ್ನು ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ವಿವೇಕಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? Who have humility, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಹ್ಯುಮಿಲಿಟಿ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ತುಂಬ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಏನಾರು ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳುವಂತಹ, ಓದುವಂತಹ ಮನಸ್ಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು. ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್, ಪರ್ಸಿವಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್, ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ವಿವೇಕ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ wisdom comes only when you have these attributes. So I request each one of you to inculcate, to develop these attributes throughout your process of research. Then it becomes a real research. ಈಗ ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನನಗೊಂದು ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅಂತ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನನಗೆ ನಾನೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಸರ್ಚು ತಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ತಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ. ಎಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೇ ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಡಿಯಾಗಿ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಾಗಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ. ಟುಡೇ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಈಸಿ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆನಿ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು ನಮಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ಬಹುಶಃ ನಂಬುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಒಬ್ಬರು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದರು. ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಭೂಪಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ರು. ನನಗೆ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ, ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಂತವೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ಬುಕ್ ಎ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಟ್ರೈನ್. ಟ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಒಂದು ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಸಹ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಎಟ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್. ನೀವು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ PhD ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೋದಂಥ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಮೆಟ್, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಮೆಟ್. ತುಂಬ ಜನ. ಹೀಗೇನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಬರೀ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಅದರಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಈಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಹಾರ್ಮ್ ಇನ್ ರೆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್. ಲೈಕ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ಹೋಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ. ಯು ಟಾಕ್ ಟು ದೋಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನ್ ಅವರ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಟ್ಸ್. ನಾನು ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ನಾನು ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ನನ್ನ ಈ ಥರ ಟರ್ನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ನನ್ನ ಟೂಲನ್ನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್. ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಮುಂದೆನೇ. ಯು ಸಿ ದ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿಗೆ ಸಹ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್. ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಈಗ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ರಿಟಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ schools for mental retardation for a week, for a month or an year. Then you get some insights. So that is research. We grow socially, we grow emotionally, to some extent we grow physically also. That is the advantage of research. Adana now we have to make use of the whole process. So this is very important. We try to become very effective philosophers. Philosopher is one who is analytical, who goes deep into the field, who analyzes. ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆದಷ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮದನ್ನು ನೀವೇ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಪೇಪರ್ಗೆ. ಯಾರದ್ದು ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಬೇಡಿ, ಯಾರ ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಬೇಡಿ. ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇದೇ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೂ ಎವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಟನ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಸಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಳಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಯು ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೀವು ಕಣ್ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. you'll get an introduction. What I want to write, what I want to present, that is preparation for writing. ನೀವು ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೆದು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಪೇಪರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರ್ದಾದ್ರೂ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ತೆಗೆದು ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್, ಎನಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್, do not look into anybody else's writing. You start your own writing. That is very, very important. So, be wise, keep telling yourself, I need to be wise. Like. And one more technique I want to do, which I followed, I want to share with you. ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ, ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕೆಲವು ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಐ ಡನ್ ದಿಸ್, have I quoted as I am supposed to quote. ಹೇಗೆ ಕೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರ. ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ದಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಯು. ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ this particular idea at on the first day of the seminar itself. So whenever somebody tells something to you, make a list of those things which you need to follow. And after some time, you keep referring to those things. Am I doing that? Am I doing that? That you need to see. So I request each one of you to think, to be a philosopher throughout by thinking of these things, these traits, these characteristics of a philosopher. And one more thing I want to share with you. You may think that you have gained something because of the workshop. And you are the focus of the workshop, of course. And what happens when a workshop is conducted or organized like this, along with the participants or more than the participants, other people grow, resource persons grow, organizers grow, students grow. You can see that is my experience also. When I used to go as resource person, I used to read a lot for 15 days, 20 days, prepare, which I wouldn't have read if I had no chance of going to that workshop. That is, you have contributed for that. You should be happy that I have contributed for the growth of so many people. ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು 7ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಹತ್ರ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಸ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಕಲಿ. ಅದು ಶನಿವಾರ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಲೇಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು 80 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗ, ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಚಿಕ್ಕವಳು. ನಾನು ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅವರು, ಗುರು ಬನ್ನಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಒಳಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋರು. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಾದರ್ಡ್. ನನಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಆಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತು, ಬೇಗ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಲಿತು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂ ಡೇಸ್ ಮೈ ಮದರ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್, ಅಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡವರು, ಯಾಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಗುರು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀರಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅವಳು ಬರ್ತಾಳಂತ ನಾನು 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಮೊದಲು ಆ ಸೂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಅವಳು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಓದುದೇ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಗುರು ಅಂತ. Same thing for resource persons also. You are the gurus of resource persons because you have helped them to grow. ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. So be happy that you have contributed for the growth of many people. So I am very happy being with you at least for a few minutes. So I wish you all the very best throughout your research process. I congratulate each and every organizer, member of the organizing committee for organizing this workshop. It's not an easy job to organize a 6-day workshop. I thank every one of them. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. Majority of you may not be knowing the caliber of ma'am. Only with one word I can mention, she is not just a teacher. Actually, she is a mentor. We have to understand the difference between a teacher and a mentor. Why she is a mentor? She will not just teach you. She will show you how to do the things. We know that a teacher can be a facilitator who will be helping you in order to do. But our Shashikala ma'am, I'm proud to say that she is my teacher. And she will be always with you, whether you are doing it. And she will show you how to do it. That is what the greatness she is having. And I know you might have influenced by her talk because she is such a lovely person also. Not only a mentor, such a lovely, kind person. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now it's time to share the opinion. Randomly we have selected 3 persons from your side. Those people I'll call. If at all you have anything to share, you are also welcomed. But randomly we have selected 3. First I would like to call upon Sister Nancy from Department of Education, St. Anne's College of Education.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, faculty members, MA students and all my research colleagues. As we come to the end of these 6 days of workshop on research and publication ethics, first of all, I would like to thank Mangalore University Department of Education for organizing such an informative and useful workshop for all the research scholars of the university. I highly appreciate the efforts taken by the coordinator of the workshop and all the organizing committee for the meticulous planning for these 6 successful days and for inviting highly knowledgeable and resourceful persons for the various sessions. The workshop that we have just completed has really been useful for all the research scholars, not only for their coursework exam, but also in their research and professional career. Once again, I thank the coordinator and all the faculty members for the successful planning and implementation of the workshop. A special note of thanks to all the MEd students of the Department of Education for their active involvement in the workshop. Thank you all for making us a part of the program. While we appreciate the initiative of the organizers, we look forward to such workshops in the future which would offer us newer platforms to imbibe new ideas and widen the horizons to accept the innovative methods. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sister, for sharing your opinion. Now I call upon Raifa from Department of Applied Zoology.
Respected dignitaries on and off the days, and to everyone gathered here, a very good evening to everyone. So firstly, I would like to thank the Department of Education for organizing this workshop on research and publication ethics. So I feel ethics, which we need in every profession, but it's mostly needed in research, which is lacking nowadays. And every resource person over here gave us a very good knowledge on the ethics to be followed in the research as well as in the publications. So I would like to thank Department of Education for organizing this workshop and executing it very well, and giving us a chance to be a part of this beautiful workshop. And to talk about the resource persons who were here for the last 6 days, everyone were wonderful in their own way, and the Department of Education have chosen the best resource person, I believe that. And the coordinators and the teachers or the guest faculties and the students of the Department of Education, they have organized this very well. I look forward for such kind of workshop, that is research and publication ethics, maybe annually. So when there is admission of the PhD students every year, maybe during their duration of coursework, I think it's better if you organize such workshop during the coursework, which is really helpful. I feel so because I am a first year PhD student. My coursework is going on right now, and I found this workshop really helpful. To be very honest, I found this really helpful regarding the plagiarism, regarding publications, and the ethics to be followed in the lab, or regarding the data manipulation and everything. So finally, I would like to thank everyone gathered here, and thanks for giving me a chance to share my opinion on this workshop. Thank you one and all gathered here.
Thank you, Raifa, for your feedback. Now I call upon Arzika Muslim from the Department of Political Science.
All protocol observed and highly respected. Virtually, there are so many things to say, so many things to explain, and a lot of things to appreciate in respect of this workshop. We were asked to make a comment regarding the workshop, and definitely it is very, very educative, highly informative, which is highly organized strategically, solidly planned by the Education Department. All knowledge emanates from education. That's why it is called Education Department. With due respect and highly appreciating to the Education Department, this workshop has become successful. This is the last day of the workshop. The central thesis of this workshop is the questions of ethics. But what is ethics? Ethics is just simply be defined as do's and don't, or what is right and what is wrong. The aim of this workshop is to inculcate the spirit of writing, both research and publications, and not only writing, but writing ethically. Because there were a lot of writings that does not respect the ethics in writing. We were taught about the issue of plagiarism, the issue of using of different softwares to check plagiarism, and the questions of misconduct. But the question is, what is misconduct? If you go by definition, it is a serious offense which is susceptible of investigation and proof. This is exactly what misconduct is. And you can find misconduct everywhere, just like the way you can find ethics. The last speaker of this workshop has talked about virtue. The issue of ethical issues were all about virtues. Because the political science department and political science research scholars knows what is virtue. Virtue is all about good things. The questions of integrity, the questions of respect, the questions of ethics. Remember that if you write ethically, either a publication or your thesis, there are two benefits. There is an internal benefit and there is an external benefit. An internal benefit is a credit that will go to your department. An external benefit, the benefit that will directly go to the university. So therefore, this workshop has exposed us to different ethical issues that we should respect in the process of our writing. The professor of political science in the name of Professor Phil Dermond has talked about issues of ethics. He said, once you master your knowledge, you have done with the issue of ethics. So ethical issues, not only in writing, even in the society, in the family, everywhere you can find ethical issues and they are expected to be respected. So the workshop, as I said, has inculcated the spirit of writing, and not only writing, but writing in an ethical manner. So on behalf of myself and the Department of Political Science and the research scholars, this is a very informative workshop which was organized by the Department of Education. So with due respect and appreciation to the Department of Education, we hope to see at least another workshop and perhaps even a conference if possible. That will make the department to test how far have we used the lectures that was delivered to us in the 6 days of this workshop. Because scholars are expected maybe to present their papers for corrections before publications. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Azika, for sharing your opinion. Now it's the time to listen to our presidential remark. I invite Dr. Gerard Santosh D'Souza, Dean, Faculty of Education, Bangalore University, to address us.
The chief guest of this valedictory function, Professor Dharma, in his absence. the advisor of the Department of MEd, Professor Shashikala, and the coordinator, Dr. Chidan, and all my dear research scholars. I think all of you must be tired. After all these 6 days of work, still these people are not giving us certificates. Fine. And for me, a president, when he has to speak, there is one advantage. That is, he can hear the others speak, then he can just copy some from them. Plagiarism he can do, right? Another advantage is that if the time is running out, anyway they have spoken so much, I can just add a little bit and finish up. Anyway, I don't want to speak much also because I'll just give some of my opinions. A thought came to my mind, In Kannada there is a saying, if you want to experience life, Mane maadi nodu, mane katti nodu, maduve maadi nodu. Means you have to, for those who don't know Kannada, you have to build a house and you have to marry to experience life, to know what is life. Right? Maybe mane maadi nodu may be still apt now, but maduve maadi nodu I don't know, because nowadays youngsters, they just postpone. I have to learn that, I have to learn this, I have to learn everything. People are not interested now because all are independent and the times are such. In education there is one more research maadi nodu, PhD maadi nodu, education, higher education. Everyone wants to come and do research. As soon as he finishes his post-graduation, sometimes before finishing the post-graduation, they don't want to do research. Right? Sometimes back, nowadays, we used to see the people who are doing research or some doctors, so and so. My God, they are such scholars, such professors. We cannot, even to think of doing research, we should have qualification. Right? Even to think of doing research, am I that, do I have that caliber or that capacity? But slowly what has happened is, please don't misunderstand when you talk all this negative. Normally I speak negatively, I do it, I'm a very critic actually, not negatively, but constructive criticism for people to do correct, right? So what is happening now is just like in all walks of life, as the population increases, the crime increases, as the vehicles increases, the accidents increase, and people, there is road rage, people breaking the laws, and even in this, because as population increases, people's needs increase, and they have to do all kind of unethical things to survive, right? So even here, in education also, the government has made it mandatory for PhD even to get a job. And so we can't blame people, for everyone to come into research. I don't say everyone should not come into research, but many people do not have aptitude towards research. Like Professor Dharma said, some people cannot write or cannot express, actually, cannot do research actually, but they have to do because they have to get a job and their friends are doing. So I have to also do research. Everyone's talking about research, right? And so many people have problems. For example, especially ladies, the family problems. Some have just got married, they've got a family life, they can't do research, but they have to do research. They're forced to do research because of certain things, because they don't get promotions, they don't get jobs. Now that is the thing happening over here today. But, as quantity, just what I said was as quantity increases, quality decreases, right? But can it be different for research? As quantity increase, can quality also increase? Because research is related to each individual, right? Not all together they don't do research. Each one does a research of his own. So if each one helps himself or herself, thinks positively by himself or herself, I think the research can improve as a whole. So how many of you here are still doing coursework in the coursework process? Can I see some hands? Okay, thank you. I think most of you might have come here because you got second paper, I can add more, right? That is one reason. Second is, for my coursework students also, I tell them, last time they see, I have become a guide last 11 years. I'm just learning what is research, right? They say less like our professor, Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, right? That time there was no pinch hitter and all those things, but at least they should score like 4, 5 average, but he scored around 2 average something. Because there's no, in research, there's no use staying for such a long time and playing that kind of a game, right? So I asked them, in basketball, shooting is important. Sports, I asked them, how many times do you practice? Simple question. How many hours you spend in shooting? Because that's the most important thing. Sir, we shoot at 10, 20 times, we do, all of us included, and then we play the match and go. In actually, they spend hours shooting. So even when you sleep, if I say the basket is there, you should be able to shoot. That is accuracy. Many of the solutions are there right under our noses, but the human nature is such, when the solution is right under our noses, we go and search for solutions everywhere, all around the world. We try to complicate things because we want to make it complicated. People want to make things complicated. Then I did such a complicated thing. Simple things people cannot do it because it will become too simple. You can write a research. Same thing in research. What I feel, research is very simple if we just break it down into certain things. Our evaluation and registrar evaluation just said people take 6, 8 years. Even we were in the committees, people 15 years, 12 years. Okay, maybe there are one or two, one or two people who are really have some problems about that. But most of the students, I tell my students, God has given you 2 legs, 2 hands, sense organs which are working well. You are so strong, so healthy, and you get, my God, 3, 4 years to do it, man, and you get to see and write also, and still you want 10 years. If I ask you, sir, which is the most difficult thing to do in studies? PhD, they say, but I feel PhD is the most easiest thing to do. In PG, UG, you have to read so many things, and you have to memorize, then you have to write within 3 hours. That 3 years you take, right? But in research, what you do, as long as you do everything properly, you get time. You get 3 years or 4 years, 5 years, and that 1 year you take 6 years. You get time to do references. You see the very related literature. Only thing of which you should be very careful is collect the data with the methodology. And even that, if you plan it out, in management they say, to plan it out, you have to write it down, black and white. Many of us, write it in the air. Hey, by December I have to do this, over. Then it will come December, next December. Fine. There's a saying, suppose you don't like mathematics, right? Mathematics is very difficult for many people, right? Or mathematics or science in high schools and all. You write down on the wall somewhere, on the cupboard somewhere you write. I love science, I love science. So you go, I love science. You go there, I love science. You start to eat, I love science. Then you start loving science. I'm like, what is science? Science is easy because it is, what is a reinforcement you say. Many of the things we ourselves make it. It's difficult. What is difficult about research? When you have opted for a research, why it should be difficult to you? Maybe I am in sports, you say bioscience. Okay, for me it is difficult. Maybe it might go over my head. But you are a bioscience student, you are a specialist in that. How it can be difficult if you plan well? You plan well, you write it down. For my research, I will tell you, starting 2 years, just like a sprinter, no, like a, arm and mola they say, like a mola I went very fast. Right, I went where I collected all everything, related literature, everything. That time we had introduction, related literature, methodology and all. Then I got married. 1 year, I lost contact. Then I thought, if this thing happens, I will never end up doing it. Then next year again I sat down and did the, questionnaires, I collected everything. Of course, since I had the skills of writing, I had the skills of computer, I had the skills of Excel, everything I did on my own because I had the skills. That is one more thing which you have to develop to be a researcher. Fine. So you have to plan it out. By this time, you can write it down. By this time, I'll finish this. By this time, I'll finish this. Give a, grace period of maybe 1 month or 2 months. It's easy to be done. So you can easily do it. Suppose I say in 1 year, introduction, related literature, may take 2 years for data collection, right? 3 years over, and then 1 year for writing. Write it down. I think it is going to be easy for you. Don't take 5, 6, 7 years. You will be the, nuisance for everyone. Even in your family, you will be nuisance. And even for your teachers, you will be a nuisance. And even for the administration, you will be a nuisance. Last year, write letters and letters, you would pay fines and fines. I tell they say, sir, no money, sir, to pay. I said, if you had finished in 4 years, you would have finished in 4 years. Now it take 8 years, 4 extra years of 15,000 something, 60,000 you're spending, and tell no money. See, when you don't have money, people struggle to finish. I don't want to spend more. But here, I don't know why things are happening. I'm sure all of you, all young faces I can see, all energetic. Plan it now. Just like I said in the inauguration, I said things have become very easy now. You can get everything, even the plagiarism you can check online also. Everything you can do online. Grammarly you get. Of course, be very careful about that also. But still, you get that Grammarly also. You can do everything. And why has it become so difficult for you to do? But only difficulty is there in our mind. It's the limits of the mind which are making things difficult for us. Right? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? I'm sure you have to agree. Even if you say no, I'll tell you have to agree. Because always we don't want to do. We have other things to do. Go with friends. I'll do tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow. See, you have come to research. See that your research findings are applicable somewhere. One more important thing I wanted to say was why ethics are being forced on you, or why people are not becoming ethical. Relatively, I'm telling, because people want the results to be proved. If I say, by doing strength training, you improve your speed, my result should do that. My result should give results to show that this thing is happening. If my results do not show, what should I do? What will I do? If my results show weight training does not improve speed, what will I do? Slowly I'll do some kind of things and say positive. This is, see, my research shows that. There is no right and wrong for research. There is no pass and fail for research. Please know. Then what is use of research? Suppose, okay, in our field or maybe in social sciences, it doesn't matter much. But in science, if you do like this, if you say this kind, what is the material, this chemical, help in what is the curing of, your COVID or something, and you want to prove that, and you say, hey, my research is not proving, we'll do something so that it proves it can cure. Can you do that? And so many people would die, isn't it? I mean, so that is a problem over here. There is no right and wrong. There is no pass and fail. If your methodology is correct, if you are following the certain principles, protocols, I think you can bravely show to the world, see, this is my research. I am a new researcher. Please give me some kind of award because I have proved this. That should be the thing in research. Don't be scared of anything. Don't be scared of disproving what everyone is proving. Of course, provided you do everything in a proper manner, protocols, procedures, and all those things, right? So I don't want to take much of your time. I just told you what is there in my mind, what I tell my students so that the research becomes good, so that at least Mangalore University researchers give good papers, good publications, see that it becomes helpful for others. Don't just make it for Namke Vaste or anything. Of course, all cannot do it, but at least as many people as possible come, especially in social sciences coming field. How many of you are in social sciences? Right? There is no other field more than social science or humanities where you have to express through words, right? Or he said, words can change the thesis. Suppose you say, my glass is half full, always think, my glass is half empty. It's half empty, it's no use of this methodology, no use of that. My research shows it's half empty. Instead of saying, my glass is half full, the research has done this. It's a simple matter of changing your perception, right? So learn all these skills, and just like I said before, skills are very, very important. I had a research scholar who is absconding now, I don't know where he is also. I don't blame him, but he could not type even one sentence in computer. He was searching how to write. I said, I made him sit in my room. I said, your second report is due, please write. At least I showed the other people, I said, at least that format you write. I went and had my food, everything. After 3 hours I come, he's just sitting there like this, sir, enta mardu gottilla. Maybe he's bright, I don't know about all that. But if you do not have skills, you have to depend everything on others. Please don't do that. Writing skills are very easy now. 5 years of, 5-6 years of research you are doing, if you are not still do not have proper writing skills, calculative skills, Excel skills, or SPSS skills, or graph skills, learn them. It's very, very easy. In 1 year you can become a paka, expert in that, right? With these few words, thank you very much. I hope this 6 weeks workshop was useful to you. Try to take whatever you got from this workshop, try to inculcate in your research, try to be good researchers, and all the best to you. Please finish it off within 4 or 6 years, depending on your part-time or full-time, okay? With these words, I also thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to stand over here and speak to young researchers, young students. I always love to speak to young students because we are getting older and older. I came to this field, sports field, because I wanted to be with youngsters, always go with sports. I could have done other things also in commerce, and I was a commerce student. And same thing, because we are in teaching, I think teaching, that is the biggest advantage, always with young people. So we are also remain young. Looking at young people, we also remain young. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words of inspiration and guidance. At last, we are at the most awaited moment of the workshop, that is, the distribution of the certificates to the participants. I request Dr. Gerard Santosh D'Souza, Dean Faculty of Education, Mangalore University, to do this noble task. Dear participants, we have chosen a few members to receive the certificates on the desk. A rest will be collecting their certificates from the attendance register counter. As your names are called out, kindly come and collect the certificates.
Avinash Ashit Arasiddha Kamble, Delna Lobo, Delna Lobo, Hasina Sheikh, Suresh DS, Ningaraju S.
ಬಂದು ರೆಡಿ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ.
Niveya Mendappa, Pavitra, Raghu H. Meghramani, Vasudha, Rajashekar Zuple, Sandhya,
Thank you, sir, for distributing the certificates to us participants. Now we are at the end of the program, and it's time to thank everyone for the success of this 6 days workshop. Words of gratitude, after which you are requested to collect your certificates. I request Mr. Nagaraj CS, Lecturer, Department of Education, to do this noble task.
Good afternoon all. Being thankful and expressing your gratitude is an important part of being happy in life. Finding the proper way to thank others for their generosity, or even reminding ourselves just how much we have to be thankful for can be rewarding. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God for made this program successful. By His invisible presence, we are able to make the program what it was. On the absence of the chief guest, on behalf of Department of Education, Mangalore University, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Professor P.L. Dharma, Register Evaluation, Mangalore University, who spared time for his busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today we had an opportunity to hear his thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. Thank you, sir. I am immensely thankful to Dr. Zaral Santosh D'Souza, Dean of Education and Faculty of MPA, for presiding over the function and assisting us in all the administrative proceedings. Thank you so much, sir. I also want to extend my generous gratitude to Dr. Shashikala A., Advisor, Department of Education, MEd, Mangalore University, for her involvement in the program. Thank you, Madam. I take this occurrence to thank all the resource persons who have shared their knowledge and enlightened our minds. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. There should be a planning, preparation, and hard work. The man behind all this is our coordinator, Dr. Chidananda A.L., Department of Education, MEd. He always stands by us and motivates us. Heartfelt gratitude to our sir. The program would not have been a great success without the support of guidance from the lecturer and staff of Department of Education, MEd, Bangalore University. Thank you, each one of you. I want to extend my generous thanks to every participant who has come from different departments. You made this workshop successful. Thank you, one and all. I would sincerely like to thank Mr. Chandrasekhar and Hariprasad, photographer and videographer, Mangalore University. I would also thank Sinan for making a video of this 6 days event. I also thank Department of Physical Education for their cooperation and their willingness to provide this seminar hall for 6 days, especially for their technical assistance and stage settings. Thank you. I would sincerely thank our MEd colleague, Ms. Lamy, Dr. Krisia Laura Pinto, and Venkatashala for their contribution to this workshop. I extend my thanks to Ms. Lamy for hosting today's event. I extend my special thanks and heartfelt gratitude to all our MEd and MPed students for their generous support, cooperation, and active involving themselves in organizing this program. Thank you, students. Finally, I would also like to thank Mr. Ramanna and Rajesh Shetty for serving refreshment, as well as all caretakers for their generosity. Thank you everyone once again for your gracious presence. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of gratitude. I thank all the resource persons, dignitaries on the dais, and the participants for being the part of 6 days workshop on research and publication ethics. Thank you, one and all. Refreshments are served in the downstairs. Kindly cherish it and proceed. Thank you.